August 19, 1944. The Wehrmacht headquarters in East Prussia. General Oberst Alfred Jodl sat hunched over his desk, scrutinizing intelligence reports from the rapidly collapsing Western Front. His staff had painstakingly calculated the limitations of Allied supply lines stretching over 400 miles from the Normandy beaches to General Patton's spearheading Third Army. By all conventional measures, the Americans had outrun their logistics. Patton's advance should stall within days, or perhaps even hours. No army could sustain such rapid movement without fuel. From the seat of Hitler's Wolfschanz, Jodl considered what every German general already understood. An armored division consumed 150,000 gallons of fuel daily when advancing. Patton's forces were now hundreds of miles from their supply depots, and the arithmetic seemed inescapable. The Third Army would grind to a halt, granting the Wehrmacht time to regroup along the Seine, perhaps hold the line until winter. Yet Jodl did not know that 125 miles to the east, nearly 6,000 trucks were already rolling relentlessly toward the front, headlights cutting through the darkness, carrying over 12,500 tons of supplies every 24 hours. This was the Red Ball Express, an audacious logistical operation so revolutionary that it shattered every German preconception about mechanized warfare. Within 72 hours, Patton's supposedly immobilized tanks would smash through German positions along the Seine. Within a week, Paris would be liberated. Within a month, the Third Army would stand at the German border. The Wehrmacht's finest minds were about to witness a lesson in American logistics that would redefine modern warfare. Delivered by 23,000 truck drivers, nearly 75% of them African American, this operation transformed a single highway into the most efficient military supply line in history. German confidence in American logistical failure stemmed from decades of military experience and battlefield observation. The Wehrmacht had pioneered blitzkrieg, revolutionized combined arms warfare, and understood all too well the tyranny of supply lines. Their advances in Russia had stalled not due to Soviet resistance, but because of the simple inability to sustain forces across vast distances. German trucks broke down on muddy Russian roads, horse-drawn wagons, still 80% of German transport, couldn't keep pace with Panzer spearheads, and railway differences caused supplies to pile up hundreds of miles from the front. General de Panzertrooper Heinrich von Lettwitz, who would command the 47th Panzer Corps from September 1944, wrote in July, "The Americans face the same logistical impossibility we confronted in Russia. Their mechanical advantage is also their weakness. Machines require fuel, ammunition, and spare parts. They have advanced 400 miles in 30 days. History teaches us what comes next: paralysis." German intelligence had tracked American consumption meticulously. A single Sherman tank burned half a gallon per mile on roads, far worse cross-country. An infantry division required 700 tons of supplies daily, an armored division, 1,000 tons. Patton commanded 12 divisions advancing along a 60-mile front. The numbers were staggering: 12,000 tons of supplies daily, transported 400 miles over damaged roads, through a network Germans had systematically destroyed in retreat. Generalmajor Siegfried Westphal, future Chief of Staff to Field Marshal von Rundstedt, calculated on August 20th that even if the Americans possessed unlimited trucks, which they did not, perfect roads, which they did not, and zero mechanical failures, which was impossible, they could not sustain Patton's advance beyond 48 hours. The laws of physics and logistics were immutable. At 2:00 p.m. on August 25, 1944, in a requisitioned French chateau near Le Mans, Lieutenant Colonel Lauren Ayres of the Motor Transport Service faced skeptical officers. Patton's Third Army was consuming supplies faster than any army in history, advancing at speeds that defied every logistical model. Traditional methods, railways, scheduled convoys, depot distribution, had collapsed under the strain. "Gentlemen," Ayres announced, We are going to create a one-way highway from Cherbourg to the front lines. Every vehicle runs 20 hours out of 24. No stopping except for fuel or emergencies. Minimum tonnage, 12,500 per day. The name came from railway terminology. A Red Ball freight was an express shipment given absolute priority. The Red Ball Express would operate on the same principle. Absolute priority, no delays, no exceptions. The specifications defied German military doctrine. 2 parallel one-way highways, one loaded, one empty, 24-hour operations, headlights blazing, no blackout, 5-minute convoy intervals, 35 mph average speed, mobile maintenance units every 50 miles, MP checkpoints removing slow vehicles. Colonel Charles O. Thrasher, commanding the advanced section of the ADSC, reviewed the numbers. 140 truck companies, 5958 vehicles at 90% availability. Impossible by any textbook, but within 36 hours it was operational. On August 26th, drivers from the 3916th Quartermaster Truck Company climbed into their GMC CCKW2 a half-ton trucks, nicknamed Deuce and a Half, loaded with 105 Michels for Patton's guns at Melun, 300 miles east. The racial composition stunned German theorists. Of 23,000 drivers, 75% were African American, serving in a still segregated army. Denied equal facilities at home, they kept the Third Army moving. Slogans were painted on trucks: Patton's Blood Bank, Detroit to Berlin Express. They created their own traffic rules, pushing failed vehicles into ditches and demanding a minimum of 20 mph. By August 28th, German reconnaissance reported an unprecedented sight. Continuous columns, headlights visible for 20 kilometers, no spacing, no blackout. An estimated 1,000 vehicles per hour. Americans abandoned all military precaution. Generalleutnant Edgar Führing of the 21st Panzer Division observed from concealment on August 30th. The enemy operates a supply system beyond comprehension. Vehicles pass at 30-second intervals day and night without pause. No concealment, no dispersion. We understand nothing. This is not military science. It is mass production applied to war. The Americans operated under different principles. Volume over caution, accepting mechanical failures, improvisation over strict hierarchy. First week deliveries, August 25-31, 1944, 89,939 tons. Daily average, 12,848. Round-trip distance, 686 miles. Vehicle rotations, 5958 trucks making 1.5 trips daily. Fuel consumption, 300,000 gallons. Germans dismissed these numbers as propaganda, but they were real and increasing. By September 5th, the Red Ball Express had established a rhythm that left German officers, still reliant on horse-drawn wagons for 80% of transport, speechless. Convoys departed every 5 minutes. Average length, 67 vehicles. Standard load, 5 tons. Frequent overload. 7 time to cover 350 miles one way, 14 hours. Turnaround at each end, 2 hours. Vehicles constantly moving, 5,000 at any given moment. Roadside maintenance, triage, parts cannibalization, engine swaps in 45 minutes, all executed in real time by mechanics who improvised solutions German doctrine considered impossible. Fuel management astounded observers. Red Ball Express alone consumed 300,000 gallons daily, more than many German armies received for all purposes. Pipelines, Operation Pluto, brought fuel from England. Forward dumps every 25 miles. Tankers running parallel to trucks ensured no delays. The Americans turned supply into a self-perpetuating machine. Patton's divisions, supplied continuously, averaged 40-60 miles daily for weeks, double the German calculations of armored advance. On September 1st, the 4th Armored Division advanced 35 miles in the morning, halted at noon for resupply, then pushed another 32 miles in the afternoon. Total, 67 miles in one day. German commanders initially refused to believe it, calling it propaganda or misidentification. Intercepted radio confirmed the pace. The Americans openly broadcast positions without encryption, supremely confident. By September 5th, German intelligence compiled comprehensive Red Ball Express reports. Catastrophic implications. Assumptions about American logistics were wrong by a factor of 10. Americans wasted vehicles, exhausted drivers, yet succeeded through sheer volume. Field Marshal Walter Model noted growing desperation. This is not a superior army we face, but a superior civilization. They do not hide, they do not fear. They waste resources because they have infinite resources. We cannot defeat this with tactics. The driver's toll was immense. 72-hour shifts, hallucinations, accidents killed 300 drivers, yet morale remained extraordinarily high. African-American soldiers, denied equal rights at home, were making history, disproving Nazi racial theories with every ton delivered. German POWs recognized it. Hans Vonluck, captured in September 1944, said, "We knew we lost when we saw your system. You break every rule and succeed through volume. You have industrialized war beyond comprehension." GMCC-2, a half-ton trucks, backbone of the Express, epitomized mass production perfection. Over 500,000 produced, more than the entire German army. All-wheel drive, automatic tire inflation, waterproofing, low-grade fuel tolerance, functional heaters. Maintenance philosophy: replace engines, cannibalize parts, repair on the fly. Routes expanded as needed, white ball, green diamond, red lion. Operational within 48 hours. African-American drivers subverted Nazi ideology with competence, initiative, and determination. Bridges repaired in hours, fuel dumps, maintenance stations, temporary driver cities, all while the operation ran. Artillery supply exceeded German theoretical maximums. 100,000 rounds fired in 24 hours at Metz. Red Ball Express delivered every round plus 20%. Vehicle attrition, 30% daily. Engines, tires, 5,000 vehicles destroyed. Yet the operation never slowed. Replacements arrived weekly. French civilians witnessed abundance, boosting morale and resistance activity. Even when supply lines stretched beyond 700 miles, the system adapted. Intermediate transfer points, driver rotations, forward maintenance bases, doubling vehicle numbers. Aerial resupply. C-47s delivering 3 tons each, 900 flights in one day, 2,700 tons. Luftwaffe maximum, 300 tons. Decentralized execution defied German hierarchy, sergeants making decisions larger than colonels elsewhere. Efficiency reigned in apparent chaos. Operation ended November 16, 1944. 82 days of sustained supply, 412,000 tons, 122 million ton-miles, 5,958 7,000 vehicles, 23,000 drivers, 700,000 gallons fuel daily, 40,000 tons ammunition for Patton, 15 million rations, cost $100 million. Captured German officers admitted miscalculating American logistics by a factor of 10. Victory owed not just to tanks or planes, but to trucks. Red Ball Express reshaped post-war logistics. Veterans founded trucking companies, designed highways, applied military logistics to civilian commerce. Military historians recognize it as the decisive logistics operation of the European theater. Without it, Patton's advance stalls, Paris falls later, Germans hold winter lines. Logistics determined strategy, not tactics. By May 1945, German generals surrendered, acknowledging defeat by supply. "Your tanks, planes, ships, we never prepared for your trucks," said a captured officer. The operation's final legacy: in industrial war, the nation that delivers fastest and farthest wins. 23,000 drivers, 6,000 trucks, one-way highways to victory, proof that in modern war trucks can beat tanks.